Welcome to another awesome vehicle podcast. To my right is Prep Cook. Anyways, what we're going to be covering on this podcast is the importance in being religiously on top of your maintenance with your vehicle and what that entails. Mary, what kind of things do you consider to be maintenance on a vehicle?
Oil changes, transmission changes.
You mean transmission fluid changes?
Yep, and oil changes.
Anything else?
I don't know.
Coolant changes?
Coolant changes. I just take my car to the guy and he does it. The mechanic. So I drop it off and leave. So I don't know what they do.
Which is a really bad practice in general.
Probably.
Why might that be a bad practice?
Because then you don't know what they're really doing to your car and whether you're getting charged for what they did.
Exactly. Did you know that by federal law they're required to show you the old parts they removed on demand?
No.
So if you ask to see your old parts and they look brand spanking new, they're scamming you. And there's more things to it than just looking brand new. But if they look literally brand new out of the box, they're scamming you. If they look two different sizes, they're scamming you. It's easy to tell if they're two different sizes. You put your hand up to one and then you put your hand up to the other. If there's a vast difference, you know they're scamming you. Brakes are a maintenance item, getting your brake pads replaced or your brake shoes, depending on whether you've got disc brakes or drum brakes. Bet you didn't know that fuses are even a maintenance item too.
No, I did not.
How about car cleanliness? Did you know that's a maintenance item?
No, my car's pretty clean most of the time, though. And I only change fuses when they blow.
Well, that's one way to do it. But did you know that if a vehicle is going to be registered as a commercial motor vehicle, every maintenance item you do has to be on its own form? Let's say you replace the alternator charge fuse, which is what regulates the amperage going into your battery from your alternator. That's got to be documented on its own form. So if you replace 20 fuses in one day, that's 20 forms you got to fill out. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because let's say, and this is a really good example, I've seen this before. Somebody brought in their trailer and one hubcap was brand new and the rest were old on a tri-axle trailer. Well, you get into a wreck, the opposing side's lawyer is going to look at that one oddball cap and go, well, how about the rest of them? Why weren't those replaced? Which brings up another really good point. If you replace one corner, it's really good practice to replace. Like if you've got a trailer and it's multiple axles, if you do it to one axle, well, one tire, you may as well do it to all tires. Like you replace a tire, replace them all. Because on a trailer, it's not that big of a deal in theory till you get into severe weather conditions. And not only that, but when you're in severe weather conditions, not only does it get far more sketchy when you're pulling a trailer, but it's far more dangerous. And if you get into a wreck and you've got, for example, one axle's got brand new tires and the rest are old, that's actually a violation. Yeah, and you can actually get that as a regular driver too. You can get a violation on your record. Do you know what the difference between a violation and a ticket is?
Mm-mm.
So a ticket is,
A fine?
well, a ticket is, for example, what they notify you of with your court dates and all that. A violation is what you did wrong on the ticket. So if you get a ticket and it says, for example, trailer brake violation, 2 counts, and they're required to, by law, put the minimum amount there per offense, and then the total for the 2 offenses. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means you need to get that fixed, and you can just go to court, say, Your Honor, just be honorable. Like, if you slipped up and forgot to do your pre-trip, which should be done regardless of whether you're a commercial driver or a regular driver. Bet you didn't know that one, did you?
Nope, I never pre-trip.
Well,
I walk around the car and make sure there's nothing.
my mom has
That's
been
it.
pulled over twice for her taillight being burned out because she didn't do a pre-trip. Didn't get a ticket, no violation, just a, Miss, are you aware that your taillight's out? No, officer, wasn't even aware of that. Kind of deal, nothing major. And the officer said, explained to us, if we had the spare bulb, when we get to where we're going, just switch it out if we've got the tools to be able to do it, and no ticket. No violation, no nothing. Just a friendly reminder that, hey, your taillight burned out. Now, that's actually pretty easy to spot on a pre-trip. It really is. There's a really cool trick that I use. I actually have been known to take my backpack and put it on the brake pedal. Sometimes if I don't feel like taking my backpack and putting it on the brake pedal, I'll actually put a rock, or sometimes I'll take one of my timbers off my trailer and set it on the brake pedal. Because you gotta activate your brake lights somehow. Now also, not many people realize this, but you gotta verify that your trailer brakes work. If your trailer's equipped with trailer brakes, they are legally required to work. If you get in a wreck and you've got a trailer behind you with trailer brakes and your trailer brakes don't work, it's automatically your fault. Which could mean tens of thousands by the time it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Something as simple as not checking in your brake controller and locking up those brakes and putting your vehicle in gear to verify that your brakes actually stop you. That can be a mistake that's easily thousands of dollars. If you're lucky, thousands. Better to be dang good than dang lucky.
Yep.
And quite frankly, as somebody who's really great with trailers, you'd be amazed at the kind of stuff I've seen. I have literally seen stuff that would make people just go, yeah, that doesn't even happen. But it happens more often than you think. Someone forgetting to check the trailer lights, and none of their lights, none of their electrical system on their trailer works. And you're stuck behind this person going, Lord, I hope this goes well. Believe it or not, it happened to my dad once. We neglected to do a pre-trip, and nothing worked on the trailer. It pretty much was a trailer with no electrical system, no brakes, no nothing. 10,000 pound horse trailer was felt that day. My dad goes, what the heck is going on back there? I went, well, the trailer's still back there, but I haven't seen a marker light come on yet. Dad pulls over. The little jiggle of the electrical connection. Hey, there they are. But what really was causing it, more than just needing to do the little jiggle trick, is the electrical system just needed fixed. It worked, but you shouldn't have to jiggle your electrical connection to get it to work. It's a sign of a worn receptacle. Either that or a receptacle that's worn with corrosion and oxidation. Either way, still really bad. And yes, those connections, if you've got the round connectors that are the flat pen RV style, those are easy. They really are. It takes like, I don't know, I think it's like 10 minutes to swap both sides. Something that, quite frankly, 10 minutes spent now can save you hours down the road. And probably about a couple dozen cuss words as you're sitting there stuck on the side of the road in front of a cop trying to fix your electrical system. Ask me how I know.
Been there, done that?
Yeah. The worst thing I ever did when I was pulling a trailer was I wound up, let's see here, I was out near the Colville area. We had to go from our farm out to the Colville area and pick up a load of hay. Well, somebody didn't do a pre-trip. Why? Last minute hay order and just got in a rush and neglected it. Not necessarily intentionally. 10 miles down the road, I look in the passenger seat. My mom looks at me. Mom, I got a question. She goes, what's that? I said, did we pre-trip? She goes, no. I went, shoot, we're on an active highway. We're going to have to get off this highway and pre-trip. I'm looking and checking, and lo and behold, on the driver's side, on the rear axle of our tandem axle flatbed trailer, an actual main wire for the trailer brakes was severed. Completely severed.
Uh-oh. So no tail lights?
It wasn't no tail lights. It was, we had an unbalanced braking system on the trailer. Which, how we made it all the way out there without noticing that? Mm-hmm. Moving 10,000 pounds worth of hay would have quickly become a white knuckle ride. Fortunately, we were near a truck stop and were able to pull into a shop because, quite frankly, they had the tools right there to do it, and $20 was far better than me crawling on my back underneath that trailer and having that and soldering the connection back together. Which they actually had to splice a wire in. Between the two sections had the two broken ends because when it broke, it was from hyperextension. I didn't want that crap to happen again. Mm-hmm. Oh, some of the things I admit to. But you know, these are just trucking fails that you all need to be aware of. And I'm not even going to say what the rating of that trailer was, because quite frankly, I plead the fifth. We had a ton on the bed, and I ain't going to tell you what the rating of the trailer was, because quite frankly, that would be incriminating evidence. But that was just some loose nut behind the wheel as an owner of the farm. Didn't want to buy the right trailer for the operation. And he claimed if I didn't have the money to fork over to buy it, which quite frankly, I never actually could buy a trailer because quite frankly, I never had enough money to do so. And it's not because I was burning all my money on worthless crap. It was because I kept having to replace components that wore out. And quite frankly, there was a couple issues that I had with the individual anyway, but the past is the past. Can't live in the past. Anyways, moving on to another thing not many people realize. Even if you're in a sedan, you need to pre-trip that stuff. Seriously, do your reverse lights work? Do your brake lights work? Do your turn signals work? Do your running lights work? Do your headlights work? It really doesn't matter if you're just going to the store on the corner. You get in a wreck and, for example, somebody rear-ended you because your brake lights didn't work. It's your fault, not theirs. And if they got a dash cam, you're screwed. Bet you didn't think about that one, did you?
Nope.
See, the laws are not there to hurt us. They're there to protect us and help us. And there was actually a time I rear-ended a semi-truck because he didn't do his pre-trip. His lights weren't working at all. Even though I was keeping my distance, the taillights on the tractor pulling the trailer are about this far from the outside of the tractor. If it's got super singles. If it's got dualies, it's more like about yay wide before you even get to the frame. Seriously, trucking professionals, please be professional and test your systems. I'm not saying that you bought crappy equipment if you own your equipment. I'm just saying you can't trust everyone not to kibitz with your systems. Quite frankly, Spokane doesn't just have a homeless problem. They've got a problem with individuals that just do not give a crap and are pure greedy. And believe it or not, homeless people can be more greedy than a CEO. For example, I had a pair of my work gloves and my safety vest stolen on a stinking bus, which I was training on. I was training an individual on. And some mother freaker steals it. Quite irritating, but such is life. Anyways, if you really think that it's the CEOs that are the only problem, it's the homeless people too. A lot of them just do not want to shower and stay clean. A lot of them are vindictive. It's why they don't even have a job. A lot of them are so drunk or so high on something that they don't even realize they're screwing up. Even though they're being alerted to it, they just don't care and they lose their job because of it. I have met people like that. It's ridiculous to hear these people say, oh, it's these greedy CEOs that are all at fault with this country. How many people live in America? Is it like 180 something million? And with 180 million people residing in America, I know there's at least quadruple to 5 million that are registered to vote, that are eligible to vote. Not only that, you may not think your vote counts, but every vote counts. Not voting is exactly the same as voting. Not voting actually gives people far more power when they vote. You know, you not voting gives more people power when they do vote. The people that are voting get more power because your vote counted as whatever everyone else thinks is what I'll go with. I have met people like that. And quite frankly, I'm voting for Trump when it comes to the 2020 election. Want to know who else I'm voting for? All Republican. Reason being, well, Donald Trump made the Democrats really have to work their butts off anymore to prove that Trump is wrong. Donald Trump, with one sentence, has the entire Democratic Party literally scrambling. What was that one sentence, Mary? Do you remember what it was?
No.
I'll give you a hint.
It probably won't help. What is it?
I'll give you a big giant clue. It involves crazy.
Nah. No help. What
The
is
Democrats are crazy.
Oh, the Democrats are crazy? Okay. If you say so.
Hey, it literally, the Democrats are crazy. It only took 4 words for him to guaranteed win the 2020 election. And quite frankly, I'm going to ensure that because every vote counts. Wasn't there a presidential election in your lifetime that was won by literally, what was it, 1 vote?
I do not know. I don't do much with politics.
It's not politics, it's knowing your history.
I'm not very good at that either. English.
I guess I'm a historian of the bunch here.
Yes, you are. Unless it's English history. I'm pretty good at English
By the way,
history.
if you would like to
British
know what
history.
really makes a big difference in making your vehicle inspections at the scale houses a lot easier and you're looking to get into trucking, if you really, if you've been in trucking or you're getting into trucking, request a truck that has actual disc brakes with ABS equipped. Now, even better, make it clear to your fleet manager or your dispatcher, whatever they go by, most of them go by FM, fleet manager, that you'll only pull a trailer if it's got disc brakes on it. Reason being, it's one less thing that that the DOT actually has to check and verify. Interesting, huh?
Yes, it is.
Because
No.
on disc brakes, you don't have slack adjusters. Figured I'd throw that one in there for you, Larry. Lem 1165 channel. You did suggest about that one. Also, make sure you verify your slack adjusters are actually properly functioning, and not only that, properly adjusted. Refer to the FMCSA's commercial driving hand guide for that one. The commercial driver's hand guide at the federal level is literally your best friend. Any state you're going to go through, you better have the state commercial driver's guide too. I'm not going to say that it's common sense because common sense is not that common anymore. It's just practical sense, which is sad. When I was working in the 90s, I never in my life thought I'd ever refer to common sense as practical sense. Practical sense is not a blessing because it's not that common. It's just practical sense. For example, when an engineer says it naturally grounded, he's saying he electrocuted himself. It's engineering terminology for I zapped myself.
Okay.
Here, want to hear
I
another?
didn't know that either.
Here's another engineer's terminology. It thermally reconfigured itself. What might that mean? Thermally reconfigured itself.
Caught on fire?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to air systems and you're out in the freezing weather, that's the opposite end of the spectrum. It froze to the point where it broke.
Okay.
How about this one? Have you ever heard this particular engineering term? It has this never-ending open loop.
No, I have not. What's that mean?
I plug the dang power strip into itself.
Okay.
There's another one that's very similar to that. A very high impedance air gap. What might that state?
Have no idea. What is it?
I didn't plug the darn thing in.
Okay.
Let's see here. How about this one? Catastrophic fatigue.
Catastrophic fatigue. Something's tired. What is that?
It means the structure got so fatigued, it broke.
So rather than tired, it got stressed.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not many people know this one, but did you know a trailer can actually get stress fatigue?
No, I did not.
What might cause stress fatigue on a trailer?
Too much weight?
That's one thing.
Not balanced load?
That's another.
A lot of them. Those are the only two I can think of. What else?
Other things that cause metal fatiguing on a trailer are thermal issues.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that can cause metal fatigue is just being hard on the trailer and on the metal in general. Like if you're slamming on your brakes and all that kind of stuff, that'll fatigue your trailer really quickly.
That makes sense.
My dad was hauling, I recall it was about 7 round bales, and had it so heavy, the jack, which was actually properly rated to be able to lift the trailer as long as it was no more than 15% hitch weight,
Yeah.
could have easily lifted it, was rated to lift it. He had that thing so tongue heavy that first off, we had to use a bottle jack to get it off the truck. Second off, he bent the dang tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And third off, not only did he do that, he wound up putting the trailer out of alignment.
Oh dear.
It never pulled the same. I don't want that trailer.
Yeah, I imagine. Not good.
And it's fairly recognizable from just about any angle. It's not a severe bend in the tongue, but you look at it, and as long as you understand what a straight line looks like, you know that dang thing ain't straight. You look at, if you're not 100% sure, put a 4-foot straight edge on the darn thing going along with the A-frame of the tongue, where it contacts the deck on the underside evenly. Blatantly obvious. Sorry, Dad, no offense, but you lack education in trailers. Back to the drawing board for you. In my lifetime, preferably. Hey, Maybe even more preferably, in your lifetime.
It's not nice, they're naughty.
I hope your fifth wheel is doing okay. I feel bad for your fifth wheel. You're right, I really do feel really bad for your fifth wheel. I feel even worse for your truck. I've seen what happens to your trucks and trailers. Hey, at least you got a dually to pull that monster fifth wheel that you buy. Hey, just because it came as a package deal does not make it a perfect fit. Just saying. Is that an F-350, Dad? Or is that just an imposter of an F-350? Because I doubt that's an F-450. None of the telltale signs of it being an F-450 were anywhere near. And a trailer of that size that I saw you on your Facebook page, FYI, Dad, that is F-450 territory. I didn't mean to make you feel overwhelmed when I commented on your Facebook page, but, you know, you lack practical sense. You lack patience. Tell you the truth, I think your wife should be the one driving that truck. And not only that, I think your wife should be the one doing all the pre-trips, inspections, and maintenance on it, too. She's better at it than you. Way better. And I'm saying that as your mechanic. Ooh, I can't believe I went there.
I can't either. Are you almost finished?
Yeah, I kind of had the feeling this video needed to come to a wrap in my lifetime.
Yes.
Anyways, folks, we're going to call that a wrap. And be sure to stay tuned because this series is far from over. I'm hungry and dinner's ready.
Yep.
Catch y'all in a future video.
Bye.